We move to the last segment of the day, to a panel, and I would like to invite a panelist to discuss warehousing technology, building sustainability, visibility, and resilience. I would like to call upon Girikant Avadhanula, Director Supply Chain SAP, Vijay Wadhwani, Head Supply Chain Logistics Relaxo Footwear, Ronit Verma, National Logistics Manager Red Bull, and Girish, Director ISCM. I would request all of you to please come up on the stage.
Thank you, Jessel. Also give us the timelines, please.
This panel is of 30 minutes, and post that we'll have 10 minutes Q&A. I would request the audience kindly post in your questions. Over to you, Girish. Thank you. Thank you,
Jessel. Welcome, Ronit, Vijay, and Girikant.
Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of what the last panel discussed, a lot of what is the operative aspects of technology. So there are some questions that I would like to still go through with some of the approaches to technology that we need to have. I think what is more necessary for us to understand at this point of time is not per se which area will be best suited for technology, but what should be the thought process behind which technology has to get integrated into our systems. And we have a very interesting panel. You know, we have two people, Vijay and Ronit, with all the problems, and we have one person, Girikant, with all the solutions. And you have a person like me in between who is going to needle both of them and create some discord. So, gentlemen, without wasting much time, and also keeping in mind that we are talking about digitalization, we are all digital citizens now, and therefore we will use the Twitter mode for communication, which essentially is short, sweet, and impactful. Let's start with the expectations from technology. I'm not going to hold it to just the software part of it. It can be software, it can be hardware. What is it that you as a user would like to expect from technology that should probably set the tone for us going forward? Let's start with Ronit.
Yeah, thank you, Girish. I hope I'm clearly audible. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Today companies are under immense pressure to improve, their warehouse efficiency and minimize errors inside warehouses. And when we discussed about the technology, the good news is that technology can help to rise the challenge. And few examples while we speak today how technology can increase warehouse efficiency are like mobile technology. Some of the mobile technology increases warehouse efficiency, includes mobile computers, mobile printers, and wearable barcode scanners. And in addition to this mobile technology, I don't want to miss, speaking about artificial intelligence. So if I talk about EDI is vital to all warehouse processes from purchase orders to inventory planning, and EDI enables the flow of information between systems, facilitating collaboration between both warehouses and external data sources. But what AI systems are doing is advanced data analytics. For warehouses, one of the benefits of AI data is predictive analysis. So I'm just giving us a quick example. If a forklift begins to show signs of wear and tear, an alert can be automatically assigned to the worker for a repair and so on. So this goes hand in hand with prescriptive analytics, which identifies a problem and then offers a solution. And in addition to the technology, the third one which I wanted to point on, the future, which is basically the drones. So I just give you one quick insight. Walmart has come up with a way to incorporate drones into their inventory management process. So drones can fly above a distribution center and scan hundreds of shipping containers to find out what's inside and where it belongs to. So, and this which actually gives an insights for the indoor warehouse code, and this can be incorporated in our indoor warehouses as well to control the inventory within the warehouse. So that is how the technology is evolving throughout. So that is my opening statements for the technology.
Thank you. Thank you, Ronit. Vijay, if I could ask you to come up with your view on technology. How can it help you in your warehousing? Does it make you agile, customer focused? So if you could just focus on that aspect also a bit.
Yeah.
Vijay?
Yeah. Thanks, Girish. I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Okay. So thank you, Girish, and hi everyone. I'm just talking about what we think about the technology. The thing is only in our warehousing. If you talk about the new age warehousing, so technology play a big role. First, we have to understand what the technology we talk about. The thing is only what I understand. If we are not interested in technology, or we are not talking about focusing about technology, so you are going to be left behind. So technology is important according to me. So what we keep in our mind, actually in last session, it was a wonderful session. Arif and the team, Alok, Padmini, Vivek, Shrikant, they had discussed a lot on technology. So I'm just adding in that what they had discussed. The thing is only what we keep in our mind. Technology meant not that we talk about the big investment and what the result we are getting, we don't know. According to me, what we keep in our mind about the technology, if we consider, the one is the cut cost, that is the one point. Second is optimize operation, and third is the improve overall SCM efficiency. So first of thing is, if I talk about what I understand is adopting innovative tech-based solution based on business requirement. First, we understand what the business requirement is. As Shrikant also told in last session, material handling is, or whatever mechanism that we adopting is not the automation. So we have to see in what the need is today, like in our system, like in our company, we are the footwear company. So we deal in high volume, low cost product. So we have to keep in our mind the cost, and we have to give the high productivity. The two things we have to keep in mind. So in many times we have planned, let's have the automation, ASRS system and other things, let's have the racks and all. But then we calculated what the benefit we will get. RFID, we were just thinking. So see the big one carton, the cost, what the cost, carton cost is, and cost of the RFID, and what is the total cost impact we will have after this. And without RFID, without other these things, what we will get. So in the one thing, as we understand, because in our business, we deal in large volume. And second is the large number of SKUs we keep. And thirdly is the variety sizes are there. So we have to manage our inventory in a proper manner. So of course, we should have the proper technology in our system. So in considering, I have divided into three parts. The first part is, of course, best WMS is required. Where the inventory is kept, that we have to understand first. So WMS means that should be mobile friendly, barcode friendly kind, and easy low cost integration and workflow process overall should be oriented. So first is the dimension, like we have large number of SKUs and large number of carton, different size of cartons. So we have to keep in mind in one truck how many carton can be kept. So that manually if you do, then lot of manual intervention is there, and mistake chances are there, and low productivity. So we have to understand is we should have the automatic system to understand dimensions on the product. Second is the mobile technology.
Vijay sir, don't tell me मैंने पानी पिला दिया.
So the thing is, second is the mobile technology. Kind of these things ki now today we have large number of customers, large number of invoices and all. So first we have to understand automatic get pass generation, waybill generation through the mobile only. So that kind of small thing we have started doing, and after all the things we have got high productivity without any big involvement in cost. So what we are keeping in my mind,
Vijay Saab, आपने बहुत अच्छा, you have brought out a very fantastic aspect of the way you have gone about technology. In fact, I always have been discussing this with you, and you always keep saying that invest in technology that your business can afford. Your business is not technology, your business is whatever is your business, you should use technology which your business can afford. And the way you have gone about in choosing the right technology and automating the right operations that you're having, which will give you a return, which will help you build towards the next issue. So you have brought in a concept called as appropriate technology, which is a very fantastic technology for you to for everyone to adopt. In fact, that I think is the core of technology. Use the right technology and identify the right areas that can give you best dividends. Fantastically put, Vijay sir. That was amazing.
We have to study the benefits also. Cost benefits and other
the cost benefit analysis. Yes. Giri, if I could come to you, you come from a technology domain, and if I were to, if I put it to you, technology is available for a price. It is not a question of affordability of a technology, but the mindset behind the technology that has to be the right one. So if I were to ask you this question, what should be the driving, for example, the example I would like to give you is that today everyone is talking, labor is not available, so let us go and put a automation into the warehouse. By the time you take this call for a proposal, get the automation done and implement it, the laborers most probably will be back. And your CFO is going to ask you that first question, boss, why are you doing it for this interim period? Why don't you pull on? CFO is got that thorn in him, which he will try to look at everything from. So therefore, it is the approach to technology which is more crucial. And what do you think should be the way Vijay also pointed out the way he approached. What do you think should be the way we should approach technology? Yes, Girikant. You have to unmute yourself. Probably we can't hear you. Yeah, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself. Oh.
Thanks. You can hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
So the approach to the technology, I think the previous panel and the current panel, all of them have already talked about it. Technologies are available. It's all about generating the business case. Yeah, I want to bring in something like an RFID, or maybe I want to bring in the mobile devices, or maybe I want to put the previous panel was discussing about the mechanization, etc. So everything goes by the business case. Am I improving the throughput of the warehouse, or am I improving some kind of an accuracy? Am I improving the labor productivity? So what exactly is it? And for that, you generate the business case. And if the business case justifies, again, if you take the proposal to the manager, he puts the same questions. Okay, is it a temporary problem that we are trying to address, or is it a permanent problem? Okay, and how long is it going to take, and how much time will it take for us to recover whatever investments that we are making? Okay, so these are the very routine questions, and even if I try to go and position it a particular technology, my customers, Ronit, Vijay, and other people, they are going to put the same question to us. Okay, so it goes completely by the business case, and I agree with what Vijay has said. Choose the right level of technology. What exactly is the business improvement that you would like to bring in, and for that particular one, what is the kind of investment that you want to make, and what is the kind of technology that you would like to choose. So even the previous panel spoke about various metrics, right? At what size of the warehouse would it start making? At what volumes of the truck dispatches would it start making sense? And they also spoke about I can't increase the warehouse space because of all these disruptions. I have to keep more stock. and the only way I can increase the storage capacity is to use the cubic volume rather than spreading the warehouse. So all this these are the calculations, and this will result in some kind of technology requirement. Yeah, maybe I want to go instead of the floor storage, maybe I will go for the rack storage. And if I'm going for the rack storage, then the associated technology investments that it will require. And all this will result in some particular business case. And yeah, I also agree with you. Plugging in a WMS system is not something which can happen in a month's time or something like that. Okay. So while the WMS systems will take time, maybe you bringing in a mobile app could be a faster one. Okay. So everything goes by the business case.
Thanks, Kirikant. That kind of reinforces the right approach to technology, or the appropriate technology, that I would call it. Ronit, if I were to come back to you, when we talk technology, I'll ask you two questions. One is that when we talk about technology, we have the device part of it, which is the box, and then we have the data. These both need to talk, and there are multiple devices, multiple data sources, so there is going to be a whole set that is going to happen. What is the level of comfort that you're seeing within yourself for having this kind of an approach to this kind of data device proliferation? That's the first question that I would like you to answer. And second question that probably I would like you to answer is that given technology investment, which is a capex investment, which definitely will push up costs. In the last panel, we heard the panelist say that he is not in favor of a price increase. What are your views on that?
Okay, so I believe both the questions are interlinked in between in a way, because the technology and data automatically ask for the cost, and the cost will automatically to be taken care by the technology and data. So I will start with the answer for the second question. So what we see today, that the experience of the consumers is evolving the way the transformation is happening on a customer experience. And having said that, the way the 3PLs or the service providers are proposing the services and are able to quantify themselves in a way that a customer like us can get their service into our panel. So the way they are able to provide the services and the propositions to on the requirement of the customer need by getting into in-depth about their data or about their requirement at the same time, and getting in depth of the detailed study of their technologies and their data, what kind of solution best fit for the customer at the end, and proposing on, and the final proposal is coming in such a way that the cost requirements which has been already put across by the customer, then it will make a sense for a customer to decide on the cost side as well as the data and the technology side. So I believe Vijayji has already shared quite insight on the data and the technology, that how do we choose. So I will not discuss in detail on that. But in view of the time, so I would just want to touch upon how the customer demands from their service providers in current scenario. The technology is growing, the automation is growing, and it is getting implemented one by way. But while we speak in India, we are far behind about the automation in our digital warehouses that will look in coming future. But at the same time, customers doesn't want to pay for a digitalization of the facts that has to be managed by the 3PL partners or the service providers, because customers themselves demand those kind of features, and the proposals should be coming through the service providers itself. And of course, there will be some kind of premium or some or some kind of addition to the cost, but not to the level which will be expected by the service providers. So that is how it is overall evolving. And in terms of the data and technology, so there are little bit things which is going in the market, that companies, some of the company doesn't want to share their business data, some of the service provider doesn't want to integrate with these products, And some of these companies like who have their global manufacturing located in outside the country, they doesn't want to even integrate with the different systems available or automation system possibilities are available in the market. So here their individual business intelligence comes into play, where they have their in-house systems or in-house softwares which is capable enough to cope up with the business requirements, or at the industry requirement, whether we are able to cope up with the digitalization requirements of the company. So this is how is overall interaction and the integration which takes into place, and which somehow sometimes pulls us back in getting into implementation of data and technology at some places. But now the thing is revolving and all the things are getting implemented one by one. So the increasing demand in WMS, TMS, and track and trace, and at the same time we are getting good effective service providers and tools in the market, so things are getting accepted across the market, and that is how it is going to improve in near future as well.
Thank you. Yes, devices and data are connected, and we need a lot more integration between device, data, and service providers. Yes, some of the customer expectations are also changing. Sometimes customer expects things for free. Customer expects things for free from you. You will expect things free from the service provider. It's a vicious circle, and we'll need to find how we can address that. We can break that loop and go forward with automation. Vijayji, another question which I have with you is, again, one question that I would like you also to answer is, if I come to you and say, listen, I have got this fantastic warehouse, ASRS, robotics, humanless, the products will not be touched by human hands, etc., etc. You have to pay me some 25% more. That's all. I will give you the throughput you want. Would you go for it? And second, what are the things do you think as an organization we need to look at before we start this digital embedding technology into our systems, into our operations? As an organization, what needs to change?
Yeah. See, in our first target, let me talk practical. Our first target is to satisfy our customers. What the customers need is to satisfy them. The thing is only how in better way we can satisfy them. What they want goods in time, in order. Plus they want information in advance. What the supplies is going on, how much time it will take, like that. So thing is only what we have, without involving big cost, we have developed many softwares in our SAP system. Like one software we have developed, like dispatch planning software, like how to minimize time and dispatch in better way. That software is already ready with us, that we are using. Second is tracking solution, like PODs and all we are updating in time and order. So all are in, I'm talking about digital kind of this thing. Second is transportation model. We are dealing with large number of vendors, so we have to track about the payment, we have to track about the efficiency of transporters. So we have first software controlling ourselves, complete vendors development, how we are getting achievement out of 120 vendors, how many vendors are giving good service, how many are not giving, how to track, how to control them, like all. And huge money is involved, because deal in large number of SKUs and large volume means big transportation cost is there. So we have to control that cost. That also is the software is there. So better utilization, like e-way bill generation, automatic e-way bill we are generating. So that kind of, that one is our this software development and digitalization, we are doing this one. Second is mechanism in our warehouse without involving a big cost, like different kind of conveyors are there to minimize our manpower and get the high productivity. So small things we have developed, we have changed in our warehouses, and we are getting good result without involving a big investment. So that kind of work we are doing, considering the focus is customer satisfaction, that we are doing.
You didn't answer my question whether you will give me 25% more because I am automated. You didn't answer my question whether you will give me 25% more because I am automated.
Your voice is not, you're not properly audible.
Will you pay me? Will you pay me 25%? Am I audible now, Girika?
Yeah, audible.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, okay. Will you pay me 25% more?
we see the cost. If we are listening, good benefit is
25% more.
Yeah, that we can.
25% more than what you're paying today.
Yes, we can.
Interesting.
I just want to add on it. Being 25% or not, yes or no, it is a different scenario. But being on the requirement, we usually analyze what kind of service providers and what features and what proposal that they are coming with, what kind of efficiency put together. So we want the competition is not on the this side of the table. It is across the both of sides of the table. So there may be service providers with a lot of features, lot of efficiencies. So that is why we keep on interacting with a lot of service providers. Even instead of paying them extra cost, we ask them to build in these services within their cost.
Yeah, Girikant, if I were to come to you now as a person who is working with technology for the most of your career, and therefore as a technology thought leader. If I were to ask you from a thought leadership perspective, what are the kind of technologies that you would like to see come into the Indian warehousing system? You can go the whole hog from AI, drones, whatever. Anything else that we have not heard of? Yes, Girika.
Yeah, for me, when I look at our customers, and most of them have SAP ERP, the first step that I would like them to take is SAP ERP itself has a lot of these warehouse management capabilities. So it is about leveraging that. In the earlier panel, they were talking about am I doing just inventory management, or am I managing my inventory at the bin level as well? Okay, instead of relying on the supervisors. With all the conversations that we are having, that supervisors are not available, etc., you can readily bring in those processes with the current investments that you have already made in your enterprise software. Okay, that's the first level. The second one is don't look at these as individual solutions. Your warehouse management solution and your enterprise solution, there has to be a tight integration, so that because the orders are hitting your enterprise system, they are not hitting your warehouse management system. And for what matters for the customer is how quickly are you servicing my order. For him, it is not the warehouse throughput. For him, it is not again how much time has it taken to pick it up from your bin to the dock. Okay, it is about how quickly have you processed my order. And many of these orders, okay, they get lost, okay, in terms of the when they're being handed over from one system to the other system. So it is very important for them to look at these initiatives in a very comprehensive way, so that at the end of the day, you have to ask what difference is it making to my customer. Okay. So in terms of adoption, again, I would recommend, depending on the kind of company that you are, maybe you have a turnover of less than 2,000 crores, or maybe 2,000 to 4,000, and 4,000 to 10,000, whatever is your turnover level. Whatever for that, there is always a right level of technology, and look at what you already have in your ERP. Somewhere it is not meeting your requirements, go to the next level. However, always look at it more from the integrated view. Your e-way bill system and your WMS system and your ERP system and your TMS system and the e-commerce interface, these are not separate ones. You should be able to draw the flow right from the moment the customer has placed the order till the time it is going to him. How is it flowing through all these systems? How much time is it taking? Am I able to give him the visibility or not? Okay, and this can be done irrespective of the kind of investment that you are making. It's just that thought process. I'm not going to consider these systems as piecemeal systems, but I will look at it more from the integrated point of view. And that's what I would see that as the approach that our customers should take.
Fantastic, Giri. Yes, I think that is the most important. I've seen organization after organization bring in disparate systems of technology. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Excuse me. Yeah. Giri, I've had this experience. I've seen multiple organizations bringing in disparate elements of technology and then getting into a rut about, will this talk to that? I didn't think about this when I started my automation. Then bring in a patch and put something else there. There's no holistic approach taken to technology. I'm glad that you brought it up. For technology to work, you need to, just like you have set up your operations and processes, you need to set up a set of blueprint for your technology roadmap, plan your processes, build those processes in a seamless manner so that they all integrate together to give the output you want. Otherwise, you will be fighting between my data and your data and no data. Because suddenly someone will come and, oh, that is his problem, that is not my problem. And the other guy will say, this is not my problem. And it's ultimately it is your problem. So this is a kind of environment we need to get out of. That's a fantastic articulation of a very difficult situation that we need to address. I'll come back. I think we are also coming close to the time limit that has been given to us. I would like a quick response from all of you. Ronit, starting from you. If you have a wish list, and you have Girikant sitting here, though he doesn't represent all of technology, he represents a significant part of technology. What would be your wish list? What would you like to see coming into warehousing that you would like to use, that you would like your people to use?
So I've been speaking in many conferences like Control Tower. So Control Tower for me, if I'm sitting in my office, that is good for me to have a visibility. But if I talk about the warehouse side, so we have 100% imported products. So I want a visibility to be put across the warehouses, that they will be aware of what container is landing in at port, how many containers is getting released, and it is ready for deliver. And the visibility across the channels, which is one thing which I am asking for. Not on the side of the execution, also on the side of getting the orders. So end-to-end visibility at to some level, which is very much allowable for a 3PL service providers to be in, and that kind of towers for that which will automatically help on-time executions at site, and in a way it will add on to the business requirements. Of course, with not a high addition cost.
Yes, got it. Girikant, I'll come back to you on that. Let's hear from Vijay also. Vijay, if I were to ask you the same question, given the amount of technology we have, given the kind of pain points you have, what do you think you would pick up now immediately for implementation, or you wish that you would have technology which would solve the problems? What are those problems, and what would be your priorities on that?
Yeah, in our business, the big challenge is the inventory management. And since we are dealing large SKUs, there is 80-20 ratio, and we become now the fashion industry. There are so many SKUs are going to be dead or whatever things. So we are doing, we want actually proper tracking on our inventory in our SKUs, which are the SKUs going to be dead, and how we want in advance the information when we have to liquidate kind of information. So information part pay, we want just more efficient information that we require to make our inventory management in a better way and minimize our dead and slow moving inventory. So that would be our challenge, and our first wish will be this. Yeah.
Vijay, can I ask one more question? What is the roadmap e-commerce? What kind of capabilities do you think you need to build for handling e-commerce in your existing business systems?
Yes. Now day by day new changings are there. After GST, lot of changings we have seen in our business. Now further after COVID-19, further we are thinking, and because now buying habit will change of the customers. So we have to consider, we have to make our strategy considering the present scenario. In the present scenario, because we are very actively involved in our e-commerce business, but not in that way we are expecting now in coming days. So now we have to focus on our e-commerce business, a modern trade business. Today we have 5 to 7%. It can go to up to 20% kind. So we have to make our plan very actively to make our e-commerce customers satisfied. So lot of work we have to do on that. Separate warehousing system we should have. the transportation system we have to develop for the e-commerce business. We ourselves have to do some online business kind of thing. So we are definitely in coming days, in coming future, what we are thinking that e-commerce business will boom, and we have to take very special supply chain strategy to make our business focusing on e-commerce business. So that we want to do. So of course, new technology, new systems may require to make our system in better way. Yes.
Girikant, if I were to ask you your response to what you just heard.
Yeah. So I will come to Ronit first, where he is looking for a control tower. Okay. It could be even better than that. Okay. A control tower requires that you have to sit in front of it and monitor. It's not possible for you, right? You have so many other things. So I would say that what you should ask for is exception-based management. I'm not going to sit in front of any control tower, but if there is something that goes wrong, only then please let me know. Okay, that will release you from the problem of sitting in front of the control tower and then watching it. It's possible. The only thing is we need because the visibility within the factory visibility, your enterprise systems would have it. But when it comes to the extended partners, I want visibility from my transporter. I want visibility from my 3PL who is running my warehouse or whatever. This is where in your contracts, you have to insist that I will require this kind of information in the digital manner. Okay. Then you have the backend system, which can absorb all that, and all this can be put together. So instead of going by that L1 or whoever is the lowest cost guy, okay, the moment you insist certain digital quotient for your supply chain partners, this is achievable. Okay, I hope I have answered this thing. Coming to Vijay, okay, I need to take it offline because I was the project manager for him. Okay. So, in fact, I would cringe if you have invested in an ERP and then you say, I don't have visibility for the inventory. Okay, I would just cover my face. Okay, it's me. Figure out as to why are you saying this. Having said that, normally when they talk about inventory problems, it is typically probably your inventory information today is spread across different systems. You have an e-commerce system, and then you are presenting one picture to the e-commerce system. And then you have your enterprise system, which is catering to your general trade or whatever. And that has another version of the inventory picture. So again, it is the problem of the disparate systems. How do we provide that integrated view? How do I make one as the master system and then do near-time replication from different systems so that at any given point of time you ask me, okay, what is my inventory? I'm able to give you the true picture. Okay. Another problem that arises is, which you all can understand, if I asked you how much do you have in your bank today, you know it. But if I asked you how much would you have in your bank 10 days down the line, okay, that's very difficult because you would have issued many checks, you have some outflows, you have some committed outflows, and then you have some inflows. So somewhere someone has to bring all that information and then project it and present it. That also people refer it to as I don't have visibility for the inventory. Okay, that's where I have to reconcile for each of the plants. I have to reconcile all the inflows and the outflows, and then I have to give the picture of the projected inventory. This is also doable. It's just that we need to integrate the external systems. Okay, so to summarize, this is doable. Certain things more in terms of aligning your partners. If you do that, the technologies are available, and the good news is these are not expensive. A lot of it can be done in the ERP itself.
Thank you.
Girikant, I just want to say one thing here. Girish, actually, at the time of implementing SAP, and Girikant was the project manager for that time our sale was 300 to 400 crore. And today we are just touching 3,000 crore. And lot of new things are developed. We have developed a lot of systems here. So time to time, some changes are definitely required in a better way to control like that. Sometimes what is happening here, one inventory is in papers and one inventory physically is lying there. So sometimes there is a lot of variance are there. we are getting good orders for liquidation. When we go physically checking that there is no inventories available there. So such kind of information where we have to improve that kind. So sometimes these things are going.
So Giri, you have he has given you a way out.
Yeah.
He's let you off the hook. Yes. It's, you know, I think we are running out of time now, and we have come to the close of the session. What I would like to do is to kind of summarize what we discussed. It is a very interesting discussion from a technology point of view, because normally when you put a technologist to on a technology panel, we hear nothing less than something which will come after 8 to 9 years. So we will talk about a digital thread, we will talk about a digital twin. I don't know if anything else is new coming, because at digital thread I kind of stopped. These are the kind of technology. We'll hear about drones, we will hear about high-end robotics, we will hear about virtual reality, we'll hear about augmented reality. Yes, these are all pieces of technology which are already available to a wide cross-section of us. A lot of our phones in the near future would be augmented reality enabled. Apple, I believe, its high-end phones are all augmented reality enabled. So we have not talked of that. We have kept it very realistic at a technology level. Couple of common threads which have come through in the discussions we have had is that somebody has got to pay for it, and that somebody is the business. So unless the business can afford a technology, you don't look at the technology. B, you look at a technology for solving a problem which is not a short-term problem, but which has got a longer. Because if you start throwing money at short-term problems, before you can get the technology piece in, probably your problem gets sorted. So you need to look at a realistic basis from which you will form your technology assessment. We also talked about taking technology in incremental steps, identifying your immediate pain points and creating solutions for that. And Girikant also brought out excellently the solution, which he said that when you're looking at solution, look at it as an integrated solution and not in bits and pieces. That, I think, is the crux of technology. Yes, technology can do a lot of things, but for technology to work, it needs somebody behind the technology who uses the technology well. Most of the time, we have technology which we don't really use. Even if I were to go out on a limb, I would probably go out on a limb and say that not many of us know even use 10% of the true capabilities of an ERP solution like what SAP is having. I'm not sure if Girikant will agree to me. Girikant, do you agree to that?
Yeah. See, everything need not be through SAP itself, but the whole idea.
I'm just saying the capabilities of it is not fully exploited.
Yeah.
In terms of what it can and what it is.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you? I missed
yes,
your
I
last
can. No, it is just that, given any technology, we don't fully utilize the features of the technology, but want something which is out there which seems more fanciful. A simple example: there are 3,000 functions in a Word document. How many of us use more than 5? No, it's not feature rich that concerns. What concerns is what fits my business. Can I use my technology? Can I learn to use technology? Yes, technology is the way to go forward, but more important for us in the supply chain and the warehousing domain is to figure out, can we use technology better? What is the kind of use that I can, how can I maximize the output from the technology which I have? I thank all my panelists for having spared their time, Girikant, Vijay, and Ronit. Thank you for clearly articulating and so nicely articulating your positions on technology and the use of technology. Though Vijay did not really talk about whether he'll go for the 25% more. I thank you all, and over to you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for your insights on how technology can redefine the warehouses for tomorrow.